The 6th generation VW Golf is a perfect daily driver, until one of the magnificent TSI engines break. But let's not overtake the things which should not be overtaken. This Mark 6 Golf is just sort of a facelift of the older Mark 5, since they share the same platform and whatnot. Besides the 3 or 5-door hatchback, there is also the more practical wagon, if you need that extra space for your dog, fridge, oven or wardrobe, and whatnot. There is also the convertible, the Jetta and the Golf Plus, but I'm not gonna mention these anymore because the universe would not handle that much information. The interior of this Golf is a typical Golf interior, so it can be equipped poorly, but also pretty damn well. Other than this, the build quality is good, although some rattles can occur mainly from the doors or B-pillar area. The space is good, although it's a small car, so don't expect miracles. The materials quality is good, although there are occasionally cases of sagging headliner in cars used in hot climate areas. And lastly, the ergonomics is great, but there are more important things to mention, so for more information about the interior, visit my website. Overall, the body is protected well from the rust. However, on cars used regularly on winter salty roads, it's definitely worth to check for rust on 3 places. The front fenders can rust. The front edge of the seals can rust, because over time dirt builds up in this area behind the wheel well liner. And lastly, there is the tailgate which can rust, mostly around the third brake light, but sometimes on the edges, around the middle drain hole, plus occasionally around the VW badge too. So basically, check the whole damn tailgate for rust. But let's move on to the minor issues unrelated to engine or gearbox. So, the trunk door lock can fail more often, causing the trunk door not to lock properly, or it will be stuck in closed position. Excessive taillight condensation can occur too, in the outer as well as in the inner taillights. Then there is the AC system, which you should check properly, since the AC compressor clutch hub can wear out, the AC condenser can leak more often, the blower motor resistor can fail, and the air recirculation flap motor located behind the glow box can break too. Then of course check the functionality of the other regular stuff like the power windows, door locks, rear and front windscreen wipers, and all that other shit as usual. For more information and for guides how to fix these issues, visit my website. As the other cars, this Golf can also have issues with various water leaks into the interior, so check the footwell area and the trunk spare tire area for traces of water. There are numerous sources of water leaks, but let's start with the rear of the car, specifically with the tailgate. So, the inner taillight seals can let the water in. Plus, in this case, there should be a visible condensation in them. Next, the third brake light can let the water in. Then, occasionally, the draining tube of the rear badge can be dislodged and drain the water into the trunk. Plus, let's not forget the plastic washer fluid pipe which can crack, usually in this wiring loom rubber grommet, and in this case it obviously leaks washer fluid into the interior or into the tailgate. Moving on to the front of the car, the 2 water drains under the windshield on the sides of the scuttle area can be clogged, letting the water to accumulate here and leak into the interior through the plastic air inlet. Then the AC drain in the front right footwell can leak, and also the rear windscreen washer plastic pipe can crack and leak washer fluid, again in the front right passenger footwell area. Additionally, if the car is equipped with a sunroof, then you can easily get another leak from the sunroof drains. There are 4 drain hoses in each corner of the sunroof frame. The rear drain hoses are usually fine, but the front drain hose rubber endings can be often clogged. To access these drain endings, you have to remove the windscreen wipers and the plastic panel, since the front drain hoses drain the water into this scuttle area. However, sometimes the drain hose can also disconnect from this rubber grommet which goes through the firewall, and in this case you again end up with water in the front footwell. But I'm not finished yet, since the estate models can be equipped with a big panoramic sunroof which also has 4 drains. But in this case, you can easily get a leak from all of these drain hoses, since all of them have badly designed upper drain connections. These connectors glued to these hoses simply get a little loose over time, creating a gap around the hose, which allows the water to leak not just into, but also onto the drain hose and into the interior. Plus, of course, the front drains can get clogged the same way as on the regular sunroof. This Golf was available with the standard suspension, with the factory sport suspension, or with the electronically adjustable suspension. As always, check for all those knocking, clunking or rattling noises from the suspension, and keep in mind that the electronic shocks are obviously more expensive than the regular type. From the petrol engines, the most reliable are the older 1.4 liter and 1.6 liter naturally aspirated units. They are not very powerful and also not that economical as the newer engines, but they can easily withstand 300,000 kilometers or more with regular maintenance only. However, it's worth mentioning that after approximately 200,000 or 250,000 kilometers, you can experience bigger or smaller oil consumption. Plus, of course, let's not forget about the 2.5 liter 5-cylinder engine available in the US, which is also great, reliable, and a fairly simple unit, so all I can say is buy it if you can. But from now on, it's gonna be nothing but downhill on a highway to hell. So let me introduce you the newer TSI Totale Schrottmotor inclusive, turbocharged and direct injection engines, which are powerful enough while achieving a good fuel consumption, but they can have numerous issues. Let's start with the 1.2 liter TSI. The biggest issue of this smallest engine can be with the timing chain mechanism, which is made from boiled potatoes basically. It's because in plenty of cases it was, and it can be worn even before 100,000 kilometers, and in fact, in the earlier cars made to 2011, it was numerous times replaced even at 30,000 or as early as 20,000 kilometers. The next problem of this tiny engine can be with the faulty turbo wastegate actuator. But in this case, the actuator arm can be only stuck, so before replacing the actuator itself, it's worth to first disassemble the actuator and try to free up the things. The last issue worth mentioning is that this engine is more prone to oil dilution with fuel. So if you will use this engine for very short distances only, then you can experience that the fuel will slowly get into the oil, which is not very good in the long term. The 1.4 liter TSI with 122 horsepower is on the other hand a much better engine, but even this unit can have issues with the prematurely worn timing chain. In this case you can expect this issue mostly between 100,000 and 150,000 kilometers. However, in some cases the chain mechanism can be worn even before 100,000 kilometers, but again mostly in the cars made to 2011. Next, there is the infamous 1.4 liter TSI with 160 horsepower, which is equipped with a turbocharger and also with a compressor to achieve the very good performance. But the various possible issues of this engine are not that good as the performance. And again, let's start with the damn timing chain, which as in the previous engine can be worn mostly between 100,000 kilometers and 150,000 kilometers, but there are also cases of worn chain mechanism even before 100,000 kilometers, mainly in cars made to 2011. The next issue of this engine is related to the compressor, specifically to the magnetic clutch of the compressor, which can fail even before 100,000 kilometers, causing weak engine performance since the compressor is not gonna be engaged. In this case you will have to replace this clutch, which is connected to the water pump. But let's move on to the most interesting issue this engine can have, which is related to the pistons. Specifically, the side of the pistons can crack and also break off basically even before 100,000 kilometers. This will cause misfires because of low compression, excessive oil consumption, a check engine light can be also present of course, and also some other funny shit. Replacing the pistons and all the other necessary stuff is obviously expensive. So I would not recommend choosing this engine if you don't have the extra money to fix this. I mean, you can buy it, but I would rather buy a cement mixer or something. Next, there is the GTI version equipped with a 2-liter TSI engine, which can have a couple of problems as well. In this case, again, the damn timing chain mechanism can be a bit problematic, specifically the very first weaker version of the timing chain tensioner can fail and damage your engine even before 100,000 kilometers. However, cars made from mid-2012 should have the updated version of the tensioner installed, which is much better and which can withstand a longer time. Definitely check visually the tensioner through an inspection hole on the side of the engine, since there is a noticeable difference between the old and the updated tensioner. The next problematic part of this engine is called the camshaft bridge, which can occasionally cause oil starvation in the cylinder head or other damage if this small screen falls out from it. The good thing is that only cars made to 2009 are more prone to this, since they have the earliest version of the camshaft bridge. But the bad thing is that the cam bridge was revised more than 3 times, so the screen can fall out on later cars as well. After this, there is the plastic variable intake manifold, which can be faulty. This is a complex plastic garbage with moving plastic flaps in it, which can wear out and fail and shit. Plus it can also cause vacuum leaks, so be prepared to replace it with a newer, better and more sturdy updated manifold. Next, there is the PCV valve, which can be often faulty before 80,000 miles. It's good to replace it preventively, since it can blow the rear main seal, which starts to leak oil, and that's an expensive repair. Before I move on to the most powerful versions, I have to mention the infamous 1.8-liter TSI, which was interestingly also available in this Golf, even though it's not very common. This is the same engine which was available in the Audi A4 B8, and it also has the same common problems as the already mentioned 2-liter GTI engine. But except all these issues, it also has a very high chance of excessive oil consumption because of the undersized pistons, piston rings and oil scraper rings. Lastly, there is the Golf GTI Edition 35 and the Golf R, both equipped with an older generation 2-liter TSI engine. This unit has indeed an older construction, but it's also more reliable than the engine in the regular GTI. It's mainly because it has a timing belt instead of a timing chain, and it also has a slightly different, better intake manifold. From the weak points of this engine, the only thing worth mentioning is the high pressure fuel pump camshaft fallover, which you should check, eventually replace, since it can get worn and cause issues in the future. To finally end this journey of engine hell, I have to mention that all of the direct injection petrol engines can have often issues with leaking water pump, so check the coolant level regularly. Plus, let's not forget about the other possible issues of these fantastic engines, like the carbon buildup, faulty injectors, faulty ignition coils, or occasionally bigger or smaller oil consumption. All of the diesel engines can easily reach 300,000 kilometers or 400,000 kilometers, but of course they can have the regular diesel engine problems, which can occur much earlier. So the EGR valve can be faulty, which is not like the end of the world, but replacing it is not that easy and not that cheap, since it's mounted on the back of the engine. Then the injectors can be faulty, usually just after 200,000 kilometers, but occasionally even before this mileage point or at around this mileage, more often on the 1.6-liter TDI. Next, the Bosch CP4 high-pressure fuel pump can fail, and in this case it will release tiny metal particles in the whole fuel system, which will destroy the injectors too. This issue can occur for the most part only in the US or in some parts of Eastern Europe because of the different quality of the fuel. But even here it's not like extremely common, and if you will practice these things, then you can minimize the possibility of this issue. After this, it's good to mention the infamous emissions scandal and the associated software update, which should correct the emissions, because some owners experienced these strange issues after this update. But the good thing is that because of this emission scandal, there still should be an extended warranty in the US for all the main parts of the diesel engines. Lastly, if you are buying one of the more powerful 2-liter TDI engine made to 2009, which has this or this engine code, then at approximately 200,000 kilometers it's a good idea to remove the oil pan and check the oil pump drive shaft, which can be worn out and later cause loss of oil pressure, which is not good. All the petrol engines are equipped with a timing chain except the older 1.4 liter and the 1.6 liter naturally aspirated engines, which have a timing belt. As I already said, the chain mechanism in the 4-cylinder engines can be worn anytime basically, so even before 100,000 kilometers. That's why the best is to either measure how much is it worn or replace it preventively after buying, mainly in the early engines made to mid-2011. Because keep in mind that if the chain skips, then it can easily damage the engine pretty badly. This VW can be equipped with the 5 or 6 speed manual gearbox, or there are 3 types of automatic transmissions. The manual transmissions are usually reliable, just check them for strange noises, and it's good to occasionally replace the oil in them. The dual mass flywheel can be of course worn if the car is equipped with it, but it usually wears out just around 200,000 kilometers, even though this mostly depends on how the previous owner used the car. From the automatic transmissions, the regular 6-speed Tiptronic is the most reliable, but sadly, this gearbox was mated only to the 2.5-liter 5-cylinder petrol engine. On the other side, the 6 and 7-speed DSG dual-clutch gearboxes are not that reliable, especially the 7-speed version can have often issues with the mechatronic, and also the clutches can wear out even before 100,000 kilometers. Plus, the DSG gearbox also has a dual mass flywheel which can be worn, so keep extra money for the DSG issues. And for more information about the transmissions, check out my website. If you are buying a model equipped with the 4Motion 4-wheel drive system, then make sure that the 4-wheel drive is working properly. So check for front wheel spin, since the Haldex pump can fail, and if it fails, then the car is gonna be just front wheel drive. Because of this, it's really important to change the oil in the differential every 50,000 or maximum 60,000 kilometers, and also change the filter in it, which can clog and cause premature failure of the already mentioned Haldex pump. To summarize things up, the older naturally aspirated petrol engines are the most reliable. Avoid the DSG gearbox unless you have additional 2,000 euros to fix it. Avoid cars with performance upgrades and with questionable maintenance history. Plus keep at least 1,000 euros for the maintenance and possible repairs. But if you are buying a car with a direct injection petrol engine or with a diesel engine, then keep at least 2,000 euros. And to top of that, if you want the more powerful 1.4-liter TSI twin charger or the GTI model, then keep at least 3,000 euros. And as always, if you have personal experience with this car or more information about it, then you can write it into comments.